Hey guys, it's the Prof coming at you on a Friday. What's going on, everybody? YouTube land. Let's see how our sound is. Hey guys. Sounds good. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Friday, September 23rd. We are 2/3 of the way through September. So we are moving right along through this year. Fourth quarter is right around the corner. So I hope you guys are ready. All right, so we'll give the room a moment or two to fill up. See, Twisted Picker's already in the room. What's up, Twisted? Said you're driving home and your traffic's a problem. Yeah, the problem here in Charlotte is that the traffic on a Friday is crazy. I mean, it starts about 4 o'clock really and goes till about 7. And quite honestly, you can't get anywhere quickly during that time if you have to travel in the major interstates or a few others of the certain roads here that are just really, really crazy. But thankfully, I don't know if I'm home for the night, but I'm at least in for a little bit. So it's taking a moment for the room to fill up today, probably because it's Friday and everybody's like, what, Prof, you're going on a Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock? What's wrong with you? Well, it's only 2 o'clock on the West Coast, so it's not 5 o'clock for everybody, so I'm not that worried about it. But in any case, hope you guys are doing well, having great sales. I actually started a sale this weekend, or for this weekend, and started just a basic 10% off sale on eBay. It's been going pretty well. Definitely seen a nice little pop from it. You know, one of the things about sales on eBay is when you run a sale, like a markdown sale, it puts everything on sale except for anything new that you list. So if you list something, it doesn't seem to pick that back up. At least that's been my experience. Maybe somebody else has a different experience. You can say in the comments or down below, but for whatever reason, if you start a sale and then you list something, that item does not get included in the sale, even if you have whole store on. So that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're listing, regularly. So I haven't really listed anything today though, honestly. I was waiting for Karin to get home today and kind of finished up all the jeans. We went and bought a few earlier, but not too many. We were both a little wiped out. So just picked up a quick 10 from a Goodwill. But yeah, sales. I mean, if you guys are struggling on your sales, I find that running a percentage off for a few days always gives you a nice pop. I don't know if it pushes you up in the search rankings or not, but maybe, which if that does that, then all your other listings get more visibility as well as your sale items. And you don't have to run the sale on everything. You can pick and choose the items you want. You can pick and choose the categories. Probably should do a video about sales at some point, but I do think they're worth it. I wouldn't run them. I mean, some people run them all the time. I mean, you could do that. I just don't know if that really, I don't know if it helps you in the search rankings or not. I'm kind of curious about that. Maybe somebody knows. If you run a consistent sale on eBay, does it push you up in the search rankings, which would help all your sales, obviously. Also too, running a sale all the time makes it not very special. So if your customers keep coming back, if you have repeat customers and every week an item is the exact same price and it's on sale, I mean, sale is a powerful word. It won't hurt you, but it may not give you the results you think you're going to get just because you're running a sale. So, keep that in mind if you are going to run a sale all the time. Again, nothing wrong with it. It's probably not going to hurt you, but it may not give you the pop that you normally get if you kind of do it sporadically. So different ways of looking at it, I guess. What else is going on? So I mentioned Karin. She is back. She is back for probably a few weeks, I would guess, before she may have to go out of town again. So I'm excited about that. She's pretty wiped out because she had a long week, but it was a productive week. She really, really kicked butt on it. So I'm proud of her, and everything she did was amazing. She and I have to have a conversation about, kind of like what we're going to do in terms of sourcing and our new direction and so on that we're going to take. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, but we shall see. But in any case, it's going to be awesome having her back. I definitely missed her, not just business wise, but personal wise too, obviously. So not having her here for a week really sucks. But, she's doing what it takes to support us and this family as well. And I'm doing what it takes to support us and this family. So, we can take pride in that. And even though it's a little tough at times, it's the right thing to do. All right. So I'm not going to make this a super long video tonight. I just really wanted to share my sales for the last 2 days, show you how I'm doing on the challenge, where we're at, and where we see it going forward from here. We're definitely in a position where we need to go buy a lot more inventory over the next few days. So we'll make that happen. And then get those up and start listing those probably next week. Probably not going to get a lot of listings done this weekend just because, one, we're out of inventory. So we need some, and we need to get photographs. And two, I've got other commitments this weekend. And, it's just kind of the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just can't go 24/7. I heard Pat Flynn say yesterday on one of his podcasts, he said, he was talking about the word hustle and becoming a hustler. And to him, it wasn't about, hey, you just go in and you just kill it every second, work your butt off. It was more for him to be a hustler was more that you find a way to make it happen for your needs, for you, your family, whoever you're supporting. You find a way to make it happen. You do what it takes. That could mean working tremendous hours, but not necessarily. Sometimes it's just working a lot smarter than it is harder. Always a good way to do business, in my opinion. So I thought that was a nice insight. All right, so not a lot of people on. Obviously, it's Friday afternoon, so I'm going to go ahead and share the results so you guys can catch up with this a little bit later in the day. I am starting a new text service, by the way, guys. So if you want to get on the text list, please send me an email at profsales44@gmail.com. And that way I will send you a text message when I'm going to go live. I'm going to try to create more of a schedule too. But it'll just be kind of a quick reminder, at least until I use up all my free credits on it. I don't know if I'll end up paying for it or not. We'll see. But send me an email if you want to get on the text list so you'll know when videos are coming out. It's really simple. And you can email me at profsales44@gmail.com, and I will send you the info. I don't really want to give it out here on the show just because I don't want to be getting spam from a bunch of random people who don't have any desire to learn about what our topics are. So, all right. So let me show you, let me do a screen share, and I will show you the spreadsheet. All right, so yesterday was the 2 days ago was the last update. So 2 days ago was the 21st. And you can see here, I got 20 listed, which was a really good day. 7 sold for 168 gross, which is pretty good. Net per gene 961, a little lower than I wanted, but not too bad. Yesterday, 21 listed. So another good day of listings. Got all the genes listed that we had before Carmen went out of town. 9 sold, really good day. Another $200 gross day. And net per gene was a little lower because some of these were the sale genes, and at 10% off, it knocked some of that gross margin off the top, but still pretty good. I'm going to try to just flip right over and see if this will continue showing or not. Let me just confirm that on. I'm just going to flip over to my other screen where I have the monthly totals, and it is working. Okay, great. So for the month, 124 sold, which is 4.1 per day already, almost up to last month's total already, 37 gross. Here's the net, and net margin is staying right around 41%. And the net per gene is good, 1004. Cannot complain about that. The average listings this month is 694, so another 100 more, almost 20% more, which is great. Here's a couple graphs. Let's let those spin. You can see my listings is as high as it's been. Sell-through is still gradually creeping up. We're almost to that 0.8% range, so good there. Sold and listed, this is a nice graph, right? We've talked about how these two lines seem to mirror each other. The more you list, the more you sell. Well, my results so far indicate that's true. So you can see this line and this line are about the same slope, and it's gradually growing. So again, and I added a new one here too. This is gross per day, and it's got you can see here, it's got margins $50, $100, $150. And you can see it's starting to grow too. The slope of this line right now, it's right around 100 and probably $5 or $10 maybe. So that's pretty cool too. We'll see how that changes each day, how much it goes up. So some nice cool graphs for you guys and for me. I love graphs. You know, they're just awesome. Quick, easy visual way to see it. All right, so that's the results for the last 2 days. Let's see a couple comments in the room. Brian says 862 per gene is kind of low. Get up to 5,000 already. Yeah, I know, right? List. Well, I got to buy in. Photograph. Yeah, the 862 is a little low, and I think the reason it was so low is I had a couple in there too that ended up selling. Not only was a sale, but I think I sold a couple older pair that were maybe like 12 or 13 bucks. You know, 13.50, something like that. So they weren't a lot of extra money. So anyway, and you know, to get up to the 5,000 is just, man, it's just going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort. I mean, you know, you just got to buy 150, 200 pair every week to start, and then it's got to be even more than that eventually. But we're not to that point yet where we're selling that many per week, but we're already selling, you know, 40, 50 a week. You know, somewhere in that range, maybe. So to think about at 5,000, how many it'll be, it's a pretty huge number you'd sell per week. It's got to be 400 or so, close to it, 350, 400. You know, we'll cross some of those bridges when we come to it. We're going to reach a point, guys, and I've told you we're going to reach a point where we can no longer grow the jeans business just because there's just not enough hours and time to do it, and supply possibly. We're not at that point yet, but it'll get there. You know, so we're definitely thinking about what that's going to look like down the road. But I'm thinking that point's going to is going to come sometime after the first of the year, maybe. So that's kind of what our thought process is, to be looking for a way to increase our productivity, starting in January. Could alone employees make it happen faster? Take the risk. Easy for me to say. Yeah, it could, Brian. I mean, and I've thought about that. I've thought about, borrowing against credit cards, which I think is a crappy idea because the interest is so high. I could apply for a small business loan, but it's not going to be a huge amount. I don't know that it's going to really be that impactful. I mean, even if it was a $5,000 loan, let's say, the tough part becomes too, without a job income, your loan options are limited. I'm not going to say you're not going to be able to, but it's harder to go out and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Banker, give me $25,000 so I can jumpstart my business. Well, they might, but to do that on just your own credit and recognizance and so on is tough. I don't know. It just, borrowing money to grow your business is really problematic, because the problem, guys, is, let's say you're borrowing the money at a low rate, even let's say it's at 5%. You've got to grow above 5% and to kind of make that worth it. So if you're not, then basically what you're doing is you're losing money because it's costing you more to grow your business with that $5,000 at 5% than if you just went ahead and earned it. Excuse me. I don't know. I mean, we've definitely thought about it, but we're not at that point yet where we have to do it. Let's see. Brian says he borrowed $5,000 from PayPal, put that in inventory, just paid it off. Seems like it took forever. $289 to get it through the system. Yeah, and that's a pretty low rate of interest, Brian. I mean, that's a really low rate. $289 on 5K, if that's all it costs you. That's what, about 5.5% maybe? That's a low rate of interest, so you can't argue with that. But I've just read enough horror stories about businesses that start borrowing money and excuse me. Not that there's anything really intrinsically wrong with borrowing money, but it's just got to be the right situation. And I'm not sure in our situation it makes sense yet. Maybe down the road. But for right now, I don't think we're going to go that route. I think we're going to just keep building the business with, keep reinvesting what we get as much as we can. It's tough because I'm using a lot of the business money to live on. And quite honestly, that really is a drag on your business when you're pulling out big chunks of cash each month for living expenses. But, I just got to get through it. I mean, I don't know what else there is really to do. What's my alternative? So Brian says you can do it like 1,000 at a time. I'm thinking of doing it again, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely consider it and look into it, Brian. I don't know. I mean, I could argue in my case that using that money to pay off some of my non-business debt, my credit card debt, I don't have a tremendous credit card debt, but I do have a little bit, would save me money in the long run because the debt on the credit card is high. The interest rate on the credit card is higher than the PayPal loan. If you can get a 5.5 or 6% loan, whatever it was you got. So maybe in that case, it would make sense because of right now I'm taking cash flow out of the business to pay for my personal expenses, including that credit card debt. So by reducing that debt, I'm, or wiping it out, I'm lowering the amount I'm taking out of the business, which in the long run helps the business. I don't know. That's an option. I hadn't thought about it, but I don't know. It just came to me when you started talking about it. So maybe I'll check that out. But it would have to be significant. And a lot of times, like I've looked into some balance transfers, before in the past, and, they always charge you a fee. And sometimes they give you a year or so without any interest payments. And sometimes it makes sense if there's enough difference between the new interest rate and the months without paying interest. But you also pay usually a 3 or 4% fee right off the top. So, if you borrow $10,000, it's going to cost you $300 to $400 in a fee right off the top. So that has to be factored into it. There's probably some calculators out there you can go to and figure that stuff out. But yeah, I mean, borrowing money is certainly one way to blow up your business, but it doesn't make sense for most small one-man or one-woman entrepreneur reseller businesses, in my opinion. It would have to be, if you could reasonably put that back into inventory and flip it around quick enough, or, pay off some of your other debt, potentially that's draining the business of assets, then it makes sense. All right, 11 people watching. Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate it. Brian says you can set the rate, you pay it back through sales. I set it at 30%, which was pretty steep, but you could do it at a lower rate. So when you say you set it at 30%, what does that mean? 30% of what? The 30% per month to pay it back at, or I'm not sure what you're saying there, but that sounds kind of interesting that you can kind of set your own rate. It allows you to take more risks. Yeah, it does, but I need to have an opportunity in front of me I could take a risk on. I know I can go and use the money to buy jeans, but honestly, I don't think that part would really make much sense. I mean, I can do that now with the system I'm already running. If it allowed me to lower my debt that I have personally, so I don't need to take as much out of the business, that might be worth it, possibly. So, definitely worth something worth looking to. I appreciate you bringing it up, Brian, and I'm going to check it out. If I do go that route, and after I check it out, I'll let you guys know in the next video, or two, or whenever I get around to doing it, maybe this weekend. But, guys, always be a little cautious about borrowing money for your business, just because you want to make sure you're going to get enough return on your investment to make the cost of borrowing it worth it. So, and if it is, then fine. There's no problem with it. But so how's everybody else doing out there? How are your sales going? How is September shaping up for you? Anything you're looking forward to for October, which is right around the corner, really, a week away? I know I'm looking forward to cooler weather. It is still, well, let's see what it is here. It is still 82 degrees here, so I'm looking forward to next week. It drops down into the 70s for highs and lows in the mid 50s. So it's going to get that nice fall weather. I don't know where you guys live at. I mean, you probably live all over the country, but man, isn't October a great month? Especially the beginning of it, when fall starts coming, the weather really starts changing, the leaves are changing, and I don't know. It's just a great time of year, I think. It's not cold yet, but it gets nice and cool at night now, and the days are good and warm still, but they're not overly hot. I mean, that's what I love about living in this part of the country, is October is such a great month, especially the beginning of it, even all the way up through the end of it for the most part. Even Halloween, a lot of times, can be a nice warm day and moderately temperature evening. It really doesn't get cold here until kind of like Thanksgiving. Then it starts, getting pretty cold, but I don't know. The beginning of October is just a great month. I just really like it. Let's see. A couple other things, and I'm going to let you guys go. I started a kind of a little, somebody called it a guru station or something like that, a mental channel on here. And I haven't settled on a name for it, but, it's just kind of some of my thoughts that I have about your mindset and what kind of mindset you should approach your business with, and really even life. I made the first video today. It was called What We Magnify is What We Come to Expect. And these videos are going to be really short, guys. They're going to be like 2, 3, maybe 5-minute videos the most. They're not going to be long. I don't know if I'm going to put one out every day. And they basically correspond to the things I post on Instagram, which are things that I pull from just my life experiences, from the church I go to, from some other sources of information. I kind of pull things together and tweak it a bit, change around to make it my own. I hope you guys will find some value in them. I mean, it's not like I'm reinventing the wheel with any of these things, but I just think they're things that are good food for thought, because honestly, I mean, you can know all the nuts and bolts of this business. You can be great at all kinds of, tactical things, but if your mind is not wrapped around why you're doing what you do and who you are as a person, and you don't have a lot of self-awareness, you're hurting your results, not only in business, but in life. So I hope that you guys will get some value out of them. I know I have, just kind of thinking about some of them. Some of the things I've heard over the last year have just been life-changing. I mean, for lack of a better term. And I just want to share them with you guys. And if it's not your thing, I get it. Inspirational sayings, motivational sayings, I don't know what you want to call them, whatever you want to call them. But basically, I just want to be able to, share all that stuff with you guys. And if you can take anything from it and use it, great. If not, that's okay too. I promise you they won't be long. They won't be as long as these videos or anything else. King Flip says, any bolos? Yeah. King Flip, if I see him, I will definitely share him with you guys. But it's so weird when you're doing what I'm doing, when you're focusing a lot on one category like jeans. I don't even think about it in terms of bolos anymore. I just think about it in terms of I'm going out and getting a bunch of base hits. And if I catch a home run, great. Like we were just at a Goodwill and I was down to the last end of the rack I was on, and they had a pair of Miss Me jeans, which for those of you who sell jeans know Miss Me is a really good brand to sell. I mean, I have 100% sell through on Miss Me, and they sell for some pretty good money, some of them. But I got all excited because I was like, gosh, Miss Me is just such a home run of a jean. I mean, it's just easy. Like you could pick up any of them and they're going to sell. And of course, it's got the little appliques, the little rhinestoney things in one pocket, and most of them are missing. And then the whole pattern across the back, about half of it was missing. And it was noticeable that it was missing. It wasn't just it was missing. It's like there's the little spots underneath where it had been. I had to put them back. I mean, I could have probably still picked up and tried to sell them in that condition, but man, somebody's not really going to be that great, that happy with these. And I don't want to make somebody upset when they get them and they're like, oh, this is missing like half of the design, even though they are Miss Me's. And they were leggings too, I believe. So, which are usually pretty popular. I think they would have sold with no problem. So, it's not really a bolo. Nothing's really a bolo unless you can replicate it. You can find it over and over. I don't know. It was just all kinds of, it was just too much wrong with them. But Salma says, you inspire me to persevere with eBay. I like your down-to-earth personality. Blessings to you. Oh, thank you for that. It's very nice of you to say. You absolutely should persevere. I mean, you're going to get somewhere. And it may not be exactly where you thought you were going to get, but you're going to get somewhere. You're going to make progress. You're going to learn. It doesn't go like this. It goes like this, but you've always got to just keep climbing and keep trying. I mean, that's all any of us can do. You're not going to succeed, knock out of the park every day, and you're not going to fail every day either. A lot of days it's going to be kind of in the middle. That's why they call it the middle, because it's where you're trying to end at. Susanna says, I didn't catch the beginning, but regarding borrowing money to source with, I found that a pretty bad idea and can get a person in a lot of trouble. Yeah, Brian was bringing it up, Susanna, with a PayPal loan. And, he was mentioning that, maybe in terms of, product or hiring someone just to kind of blow up your listings, paying it back with a pretty rapid repayment schedule, I believe Brian had. And, I'm not opposed to it, but Susanna gives makes a good warning there. It can get you in a lot of trouble. It's got to be done for the right reason, with the right purpose in mind, and with the right financial setup. And then you've got to go execute the strategy that you're going to use with it. It's not enough just to get the money and say, yeah, I got 10 grand. All right, what am I going to do now? You got to go execute. And, that's got to be part of it. Can you do it? Can you take a loan amount and go and really make it worthwhile to your business? I mean, to some degree, you're not going to know that until you do it, but you should at least have a plan before you start. This is one of those things where you don't want to just wing it. You want to say, well, I've got this option to borrow $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever the amount is, but write it down. Writing it down on a piece of paper costs you nothing but some time. Write it down and say, all right, if I get this money, this is what I'm going to use it for. This is what kind of return I expect to get with it. And it could be a return of not just financial, it could be, other types of return too. And then how are you going to pay it back? What's that look like? So I think it's important to do that if you're going to borrow money. I think, and I would keep it small at the beginning. If you say to yourself, $10,000 would be great. Okay, maybe that would be great for you and really help your business out. But $1,000 is only going to give you 1/10 the bang for your buck. But if it doesn't go the way you thought, you've got a lot less risk now. And you've got a lot less loan to pay back. So it's not going to be as devastating. I mean, if you're doing $2,000 a month in sales and you borrow $10,000, and it goes south, and let's say you buy some product that ends up being damaged or counterfeit, or you can't sell it or whatever, you effectively might be out of business at that point. I mean, that loan payment, paying it back, and just the fact that now your strategy didn't work, I mean, you're going to hurt your results for months. So there's nothing wrong with saying, all right, if this amount would be really good, maybe I can take a smaller amount and just see if my strategy works. So hopefully that makes sense. But anyway. All right, guys. Well, listen, I think that's going to do it for today. We actually are going to have to go eat something soon. And, I don't like to miss meals because I'm a growing boy. But in any case, in all seriousness, though, if you like this content and so on, leave me a comment down below. Please hit that like button as well, and lets me know I'm doing a good job. Also, if you want to get on the text list where I will send you a message when I'm going live, I am going to try to have more of a schedule going forward starting next week. But if I do have one-off shows, I intend to create this text list where I will text you that, hey, a PROF's going live in an hour or whatever. You can email me and I will send you the information. I don't want to give out the number over this video, but email me at profsales44@gmail.com. That is profsales44@gmail.com. All right, guys. Well, look, that's going to do it for this show. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. I probably won't see you again until Monday. But I hope your weekend goes great. I hope you have great sales. Get out there and grind. Get out there and list. Get out there and photograph and make it happen. You own your results, no one else. All right. Take care, everybody. And as always, it's Prof Sales saying good sales to you.